In life's grand parade of misery, our number one trusty sidekick is overthinking. You know the drill, lying in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying that one awkward moment from 5 years ago, or obsessively analyzing a text like it's a coded message from the CIA. Every little detail needs to be dissected, overanalyzed, and put on trial. Why do we do this to ourselves? Because if we don't, who will? So here we are, one sleepless night at a time. It's like we've become unpaid interns in the cosmic office of unnecessary mental torture. And boy, are we good at it. So welcome to the Overthinking Show, brought to you by anxiety. Your brain is like a detective on a bad case, always looking for clues and patterns, even when there are none. This is a psychological concept known as pattern recognition. Your brain hates uncertainty, so it fills the gaps with imaginary threats, worst-case scenarios, and what-if questions. Neuroscientists have found that overthinkers have hyperactive neural circuits in the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making and reasoning. So, while a normal person might make a decision and move on, your brain keeps looping through every possible scenario like a broken record, refusing to stop playing that one annoying song. Speaking of annoying songs, let's talk about cortisol, the stress hormone that overthinkers seem to produce by the bucket load. When you overthink, your brain triggers a stress response, releasing cortisol. This hormone is great for short-term survival, but in long-term doses, it's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. More stress leads to more overthinking, which leads to, you guessed it, more stress. It's like trying to run a marathon with bricks in your shoes, and you're not winning that race. What else can signify the weary triumph of a mind burdened by endless doubts, enduring relentlessly, feverishly, trapped in its own webs of thought, yet now gripped by the illusion of control, the illusion that more thinking will uncover some final truth, some clarity, as the mind toys even with its own suffering. This overthinking, this endless mental toil is no solution but the celebration of torment. A cycle of imagined problems and unreachable answers, repeating endlessly, a spiral without escape. Overthinking and anxiety are basically a power couple, constantly feeding off each other and making your life miserable. You start with a simple decision like what to eat for dinner, and before you know it, you're spiraling into a full-blown existential crisis about your career, relationships, and whether or not you're a functional adult. Anxiety loves to hang out in that space between decision and action, filling your brain with worst-case scenarios. It convinces you that by thinking through every possible outcome, you'll somehow gain control over your life. Except overthinking just makes you feel even more out of control. Channel your inner Nietzsche. Life is absurd, chaotic, and completely beyond your control. Once you accept that, overthinking loses its power. There is no grand meaning behind every decision, and that's okay. Laugh at the absurdity of it all. You can't predict the future. No amount of mental gymnastics will change that. Look, if you're going to overthink, at least put a time limit on it. Give yourself 5 minutes to obsess over whether your friend's one-word text means they hate you, and then cut it off. You wouldn't binge-watch a terrible show for hours, so don't let your brain binge-watch its own pointless thoughts. Set a timer, make a decision, and then get on with your life. In a world full of chaos and randomness, it's easy to feel like overthinking is the only thing holding you together. But the truth is, it's the very thing tearing you apart. So next time you find yourself spiraling into a mental black hole, remember, no amount of overthinking is going to save you from the glorious mess that is life. You might as well enjoy the ride.